Good evening, Vegas sports fans. I'm Rob Hefner, aka Vegas Rob, and the mayor. With me tonight is my co-host, Ken the Bat Fry. Hey, buddy, how's it going? It's been a long 2 weeks without doing shows, and without you, man. How are things?
Everything's going well. Everything's going pretty good. Like we were talking off screen, I had soccer tournament today and tomorrow, and some decent weather today, but it's going to get pretty chilly tomorrow. It's Pennsylvania. It's November. That's what it is. One day you get 60 degrees, 65 degrees. The next day you get 30. So,
right, yeah,
it is what it is.
I'm definitely feeling it out here a little bit too. Maybe not as bad as you guys are, of course, but yeah, it's starting to get a little chilly. Had to put the shorts away and go buy some more pants.
Well, what's chilly out there, Rob?
Well, normally this time of year, like it gets up to be like 60 during the day, and then at night it will drop down into the 40s. So it does get a little chilly at night.
Yeah, the 40s. I'll say 40s are chilly. I wouldn't put the shorts away for 40s, but that sweatshirt.
Well, you're a better person than I am, because I can only do shorts up until like now, like the first or second week in November, and then after that I gotta switch over to pants. But yeah, let's get right into this. Jacksonville joke. I love that. I love that title, that headline, because honestly, that's what these games are becoming. I mean, we were up 17, and they came back from the Jacksonville Jaguars, came back, from a 17-point deficit to, beat us. When is this? How much longer is this, shit going to go on, Ken? I mean, how much more of this can we take?
Well, Rob, I believe we're going to have a season's worth of it before it's all said and done. It's amazingly frustrating as a Raider fan, as a football fan. I mean, just to watch this time and time again, to lose the way we've been losing, and like I said to you off camera, so I don't know. I don't think that the coaches aren't idiots. Let's just get that out of the way. Josh McDaniels just doesn't, becomes a head coach and doesn't forget how to coach. It's either a philosophy thing, or he's just incapable of making the right moves after halftime. The right I can't think of the word right now off the top of my head.
Well, I question Ken if he makes any adjustments at halftime.
Adjustments, that's the word I'm looking for. Adjustments, yeah. It's either that's what's interesting. I don't think he does make adjustments at halftime. It seems to be the same old thing over and over again, and that the team on the other sideline is making that adjustment. Paul Spencer checking in. Our boy Paul saying, not here for the shout out. I'm here because this show is freaking awesome. # Vegas sports scene. You're damn right, Paul. The show's awesome. This is the camel that waters everybody. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. That's right. I think of a funny analogy, that the camel humps and all that stuff. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. But yeah, it doesn't seem like he makes any adjustments, or if he does, they're so minor you can't really tell what it is. And it's a damn shame, It's because we have a talented team, we really do, when we can get our guys on the freaking field. Speaking of Waller and well, Renfro's been on the field, but now he's going to be off for a little bit. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And it's some missed moves in the offseason, with like Chandler Jones hasn't done dick really. A half a sack so far this season. That's not going to get it done.
I was furious today. I saw him doing a commercial for the local Fox 5 channel out here, encouraging people to watch Raiders games. It's like, you fuck, earn your goddamn money and get out there and play to the way we were expecting you to play. I was like so furious and so pissed off watching this commercial, and Celeste is like, you do realize it's only a commercial.
Rob, he can't hear you, right?
Right.
Adam Glenn checking in. What's up, Adam? He's a loyal follower to all the Out of the Box sports shows, probably our number one fan. So what's up, Adam? It says, pay them, Paul. Yeah, there we go. Listen to the man, Paul. He's a smart man.
I'm not in this for the money.
That's a running joke we have. It's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in it. I'm in it because I love sports and it's fun, and being able to do this every week for an hour, an hour and 45 minutes, or however long we want to go. It's just great to be able to you know be able to do this, and of course, you're one of the biggest Raiders fans that I know. So of course, when I decided to do this, there wasn't anybody else that I was bringing with me except for yours truly, Mr. Bat Fry himself.
I'm riding your coattails, brother. Paul says it's crazy how when we did our first show, we had the Raiders as viable competitors for the division, and well, here we are. And he's right, and that's one of those things for any sport where in the off season, for most teams, you have that high hope. Well, we'll get them next year kind of deal, and it looked extremely promising for the Raiders. I mean, they're they're not dead in the water yet. They're working on the motor of the boat, but it's not looking good, Rob. We're losing oil. We don't have the right tools, and it's about time to call the Coast Guard to come pick us up.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's gotten to the level of the Titanic yet, but
Yeah,
and I use the word yet. There were some bright spots,
oh,
in
absolutely.
in Sunday's game. I mean, Devontae Adams didn't have a bad game. Was able to get some things done, but that there again, it comes back to what the hell do they do at halftime? Do they sit there and play cards? Do they eat pizzas? I mean, what are they doing at halftime? Because we always, for the most part, we always look like we can pull it out in the first half, and then the second half it just all falls apart. So
They're playing 500 rummy there.
yeah.
Devontae Adams had a great game. 10 catches for 146 yards. But you know what the problem with that, Rob, is? He had 9 catches for 146 yards in the first half. Second half, he had 1 catch for 0, for nothing, nada. And they repeatedly targeted him. Freaking Hunter Renfrow had 3 catches for 2 catches. No, what the hell? 3 for 26, and he only got targeted 5 times. I mean, what's the problem with that, Rob? They need to target him a lot more than that. And if Devontae is being double covered, that's a perfect time to get to Hunter Renfrow.
Right. They have spent so much money on this team from an offensive standpoint in the offseason. And really they haven't performed consistently in the second half of a ball game. They come out in the first half, and you'll see some good things out of them, but then in the second half they let a team like Jacksonville creep back in, and we end up losing the game. And where was Jacobs at last week? I didn't think he was hurt or anything. I didn't see anything about him being hurt. Why wasn't he more involved in in the offense? You got to get the rock. You got to get your running game going and give the rock to the running backs.
Real quick before I get to that, Paul says, Adam, they already broke the bank. I'm here. It's because we love talking sports. Just a huge family. 10 brothers, 1 sister, and the best damn viewers we could ask for. What can be better than that? Absolutely, Paul. 100% agree with that. About Josh Jacobs there, Rob, 17 carries for 67 yards. It's a decent amount of carries. It's not where you'd want him to be, especially with the lead. We were up 20-7 at halftime. What 17 carries? He should be up in the 25 to 28 range carries.
Right.
That's more time that we're holding onto the ball. The other team doesn't have the ball. That's less scoring opportunities for the other team. And he didn't run bad. 16 for 67 is not terrible. It's not really Josh Jacobs like, because he's been averaging close to 6 yards a carry, but it's not enough. You need to feed him. And I keep stressing that, Rob. I say 20 to 25 times in a game like that where you're leading at halftime, you're in control. There's no reason he shouldn't have 25 to 28 carries. And also we have Amir Abdullah. Zamir White, guys like that. I'm not sure if Brandon Bolden played last week because I don't think he had any stats, but he might be hurt. I didn't see him on the injury list. He might be somewhere, in the Patriots locker room, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Kenny. We had high hopes in the preseason for Zamir White, but where the hell has he been? Where's he been so far? I mean, you would think that we would have a two-headed monster attack when it comes to the running game, and you can't really blame it on Jacobs. I mean, Jacobs, so far this season has been pulling his weight and making things happen usually when they give him the ball. I'm just I'm getting to the point now where it's like, we have a guy like Zamir White. When the hell are they going to incorporate him into whatever it is they're doing?
I mean, yeah, it's a shame they don't use a two-headed running attack like that, but we can barely get one guy the ball. How the hell are we going to get two guys the ball? And DC ended up 21 of 36, 259, 2 touchdowns, was sacked a couple times. He wasn't under too much pressure throughout the game. There's some times, but overall, I thought he had a decent game. It's just, I'm not 100% sure that the coaching staff is leading him in the right direction. And it felt like after the game, between his interview and Devontae's interview, it seems like there's some issues there in the locker room, or not the locker room, between players and coaches with how the team is being ran, specifically offensively.
Yeah, I caught the press conference, the press conferences too, and it just doesn't seem like everybody's on the same page. And at this point, you certainly think we would be.
Yeah, and Paul had a comment here. That's on the OC and McDaniels, the second half meltdown. Once I can see, but over and over and over, it becomes the normal MO for McDaniels. Absolutely, it's who he's becoming as a coach right now, and I don't know, as an offensive coordinator, he's. I assume he's been better. I mean, the Patriots have won with the guy at OC, and so you have to figure he's better than what he's been showing as a head coach. I don't know to be honest with you, Rob, I have no idea what the dude's problem is. I don't know if he just gets lost. Like, oh shit, we're ahead. What do I do now? I can't pass the ball 100 times because we're ahead, or what? I don't know. I got to keep passing because I don't understand it.
I can certainly tell you that fans are definitely frustrated, and we'll get into this later. But they're pretty much calling for Mark Davis, to do something at this point. They're pretty much calling for Josh McDaniels' head.
Well, and I'm always looking on Raider fan boards and stuff like that, and it's everybody. It's the same thing. They want Davis gone. They want McDaniels gone. They want Derek Carr gone. All of them. Everybody I see. Well, and I think that's a little bit drastic, if you ask me. I mean, all right, McDaniels, fine. I'm fine with that, 100%. I wanted Harbaugh. I was fine with McDaniels, but I mean, Mark Davis, the owner. I mean, he's gotten the players here, and. I mean, he didn't hire the right coach. All right. Felt like the right coach to him. Fine. You move on from it. Derek Carr, I mean, it's hard to the guy just produces week in and week out. Like, yeah, he's not the best quarterback in the league, but I believe him in my opinion. He's a top 10 quarterback, at least in this league, or at least he can be. That he shows it sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't show it, but you're going to be hard pressed to go out there and find a better quarterback, off the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know who you would go out and get at this point. I mean,
Josh Allen isn't walking through the door. Josh Allen's not walking through. Nobody like that's walking through the door. So if you think you're going to get a better quarterback than DC right now, you're out of your freaking mind.
Right. Yeah. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I just think that the coaches, they need to do a better job in what they're doing. Pointing him in the right direction, because I'm with you. I think he is a top 10, top 15 quarterback in this league, without a doubt. But if your coaches aren't making proper adjustments, aren't really trying to fix stuff. I mean, it's the same it's the same song and dance every week. It seems like now, and there's not, and I don't really see there being any significant adjustments that are being made. But we play the Colts this week. They're another train wreck. They might be worse off than what we are.
They may very well be. Real quick before we transfer off the Jacksonville stuff, defense again gave up about what was it 24? We lose 24-27 that they have. I think they had 27, but still, I mean that's what we've been giving up all season, 24-27 points. And we had a couple bright spots. Blake Martinez played well, but we all know what's going on with that.
We'll talk about that later.
But unfortunately, one of my favorites, Divine Diablo, went out with an injury on the second play of the game. Looks like he's probably going to be done. I don't know what the extent of his injuries is, but he's on the injured reserve now. And I think it's probably somewhat his forearm. So I assume it's probably either a dislocation or a fracture or broke or something. And again, no Chandler Jones. He didn't show up. Mad Max played well, no sacks. I think that's 2 or 3 games in a row he hasn't had a sack. But he's out there. He's still balling. The dude is just a maniac out there in the field. Thank God we have Max Crosby on defense. Rock Ya-Sin played okay, but I mean it's hard to say that he played good when you have Trevor Lawrence throwing, having career numbers 25-31 for 235 and a touchdown, and Travis Etienne running 28 carries for 109 yards and 2 tutties. So it's really defense is playing where I thought the defense would play. If you go back to the early episodes, Rob, or when we start doing this, and that's kind of where I said the defense would be. I'd say I think I might have said like between 20-24 points, giving up a game. That's kind of where they're at. But right. I also say we need to score between 28-34 points, and we're not doing that at all. We're getting some early points in the first half. In the second half, we're coming out and shitting the bed.
That definitely you definitely said that right.
Paul Spencer says McDaniels is just a good OC and not a head coach. I agree. Some are made for certain situations that helped him having Belichick to manage game situation. Thoughts, Dan Quinn, mediocre head coach, hell of a defensive coordinator. Absolutely. And that's something we talked about before with what the hell's his name? He coached Dallas for a little bit. He's a terrific defensive coordinator, but Wade Phillips, but couldn't get over the hump as a head coach, and he got opportunity after opportunity. Some coaches are just coordinators. They're not. They just cannot do the head coaching job, and I think that's probably where McDaniels is.
Right. Well, let's move on to this Indianapolis Colts team. I mean, you want to talk about another team that's in shambles. I mean,
did you want to talk about the moves first, or do you want to go right to Indianapolis about the Waller, Renfro, and Martinez?
Oh yeah, we could do those.
Yeah, let's cover that first because that's going to affect the way the next game is. So we had a couple moves there, Rob. What do you think about that?
Abram, I liked the guy, but I wasn't surprised because he really wasn't producing this year the way that they thought he was going to. So it's sad to say, but the NFL is a business, and when you're not when you're not producing, you're not going to be employed. You're not going to be employed very long.
And that's my thought 100% there, Rob. You can see the writing on the wall with Abram. Again, I really liked Abram, but he wasn't playing up to standards for the last 2 seasons. That's why they didn't pick up his option, and they didn't extend him out or anything like that. Is because they were either going to let him go after the season, or they were going to try to trade him, or they were going to just cut him during the season, and that's what happened. I think they were trying to shop him around at the trade deadline, but there was no takers. And slowly but surely over the last couple of games, they were cutting his snaps down. And he just, he did okay in the run, but he's just lost in the pass. I mean, it's just, he can hit big and stuff like that, but you don't need somebody that hits big back there. You need somebody that's able to play the ball.
Right. And I believe I saw that he signed on with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, he signed on with the Green Bay a couple days ago, and hey, good luck to you. That's where Seawood went after he left us, right? Charles Woodson left The Oakland Raiders and went to Green Bay. Had a hell of a run there at Green Bay, winning the Super Bowl, and I think he won. He might have won Defensive Player of the Year also there once or twice. Had a hell of a run in Green Bay. But good luck to Abram and stuff like that. It's hopefully they can find for some. He's not going to learn how to cover anybody. So hopefully they find some sort of package where he can just play the run and be physical, which is what he does well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wished he would have. I wished he would have materialized. I like the guy, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. So best of luck to Jason, or best of luck to Abram, and that's really all I've got to say about that one.
Evan Laurel checking in. You can check Evan out Fridays at 8 p.m. on the Big Blue Power Hour, talking New York Giants football. He says Martinez was a surprise retirement. 100% he was a surprise retirement, especially after being our top tackler and our best player on defense at our last game against the Jaguars. That's something else, man.
he had what, 11 tackles against the Jags, and then decides to retire. I mean, I wonder what he's gonna do now. I heard he was an avid Pokemon collector.
And that's what, Rob, I was just going to say, I looked it up. I'm like, what the hell is this guy going to do? He's talking about his future endeavors and stuff like that. And I guess he's into cards, it said. He's in, I guess all sorts of cards, but Pokemon especially. And he also has a business. And I don't know if the business deals with the cards or if that's a personal thing, but he just sold the Pokemon card for $627,000. So what the fuck does he need football for? He doesn't need football. It's not that healthy. You know what? He's like, I was the best player on defense that day. I'm out, guys. Peace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame too, because I think he could have really, really been a huge piece for us there in the middle of the defense, especially with Divine Diablo getting hurt. Denzel Perry been getting hurt during the game also, but he came back and he had a pretty decent game at linebacker for us. But yeah, Blake Martinez, man, I was so bummed when I see that, because I was really excited when we picked him up, because all the stories that I read about him is a tackling machine, dude.
Yeah, he definitely was, and I had high hopes for him actually, and then when I saw he retired, I had a WTF moment, like what, and then I'm like, I saw about his Pokemon collection. I'm like, well, I guess that's how he's gonna live now.
Who would have thought it? That's amazing. I love that. That just like that. It's 2022, I guess. That's what it is nowadays.
Yeah,
people pay millions of dollars for Pokemon cards. It's unbelievable. And so then we have Renfrow and Waller both going on IR this week, so they're out for the next 4 games. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think what you put at the end of this banner, oh my, is appropriate, because that definitely takes some weapons away from our offense. And I was actually hoping that, Waller was going to step up. I mean, honestly, since he's gotten his big payday, he's kind of been a disappointment too. It's like,
I think he only played in 1 game since he got his payday, 1 or 2 games, and that's it. And I don't even know if they're full games or not.
No, I don't think so. We're gonna have to have some other people, definitely step up, because having both of them out on the IR for and it doesn't really specify how long they're going to be out, right?
It says for when you're on the IR or whatever it's called, it says 4 games. So they're out at least 4 games.
At least 4 weeks then.
Yeah, at least 4 weeks. Yeah. So hopefully that's it. Hopefully they come back healthy. There's a couple times where it seemed like Waller was going to play. He goes out and tests it, and he says, "No, I'm good. I'm not going to play." And Renfrow, he gets banged around. He's just a little guy, and so I don't know if that's the issue or if there's something else. I read it was his I think his hamstring and maybe ribs or something like that, or quad, and it's something lower body and something upper body for Renfrow, but Waller's still his leg and hip area. So hopefully over the next 4 weeks, they can get it right. I was reading some stories that there's some people were saying that they heard rumors in Vegas that the Raiders in the offseason are going to look to trade Waller and Derek Carr away. I don't know. Rumors are rumors, stories are stories. Sometimes though there is smoke. Where there's fire, there's smoke, or smoke, there's fire, whatever. However the hell you want to say that, Rob. However that saying goes, you know what I'm saying now.
Right. Definitely trading both of them. I hadn't heard that, but what would we get in exchange for them? I mean, that would be the interesting part about it. Are we officially having a fire sale? Are we in like a fire sale kind of a mode here? Or
you know what? And I don't know. I don't know what we wouldn't get first round picks or nothing like that. Especially the way Waller has been so injury prone, you're not going to get a team to give you a first round pick for that guy. A guy that thinks he's the best tight end in football, but isn't going to go out there and show it. So you're not going to get anything significant for him. If I had to guess, it's like a third round maybe if you're lucky.
Yeah.
But Derek Carr, I could see a second round pick.
Yeah, I would say a second and third round pick if you're going to trade those. You're going to trade those guys. But
I don't think they're going to trade them though. I just think that's chatter amongst our hopeful Raider fans there. I'm not hopeful. I want them back.
But who's going to be our quarterback then? Stidham?
Yeah, well, that would make Josh McDaniels happy. That's why he brought him in here to turn us into the Las Vegas Patriots.
Right.
You know what? And one of my thoughts was, you have Rodgers up in Green Bay not happy. Is there a trade there? Perhaps because they were inquiring about Waller. Do you do a Carr and Waller for Aaron Rodgers and get 2 years out of him? But then my thought is, why does Devontae Adams come to Las Vegas to play with Derek Carr just to have him traded to play with his old quarterback? So I don't know.
Right.
That's something I thought about that would make me kind of curious.
And two, you have to think about this. Would Rodgers want to come here with the state of this team now the way it is? If Aaron Rodgers is going to go anywhere to potentially to accept the trade, I would think logically he's going to want to go to a team that's maybe one or two players away from the promised land, Lombardyville. I don't know that he's going to want to come here with this team the way it is right now.
Offensively, I think we're there, Rob. We just need a better play calling and maybe a player or two on the offensive line. But that's about it. I think besides that, we're there offensively. Defensively, we're miles away. I mean, we have a couple decent pieces, but it's defensively we're pretty far off. Offensively, I think we're there, and that's what Rodgers does, and I think he can score with the best of them. So I mean, who knows? That's just that was something that farted out of my ear one day. I'm like, oh, how about that? That smells interesting.
Well, if there would be any truth to that potential Aaron Rodgers rumor, that would certainly get the people of Las Vegas talking. I know
absolutely
when the Raiders were considering the possibility of maybe bringing Tom Brady here, when that whole when that all came up, everybody here was talking about that. And I said, I didn't see there being any way that a quarterback like Tom Brady would want to come here. And then somebody says to me, well, he has a home here. I said, well, Jesus Christ. They said a lot of celebrities have homes here.
Yeah. And, whenever you hear about athletes or whatever, so-and-so just put their house up for sale or whatever, it doesn't mean shit. I mean, sometimes, okay, it does. But for me, most of the time, it's like they're selling their house. Big deal. They get an apartment. They're here for a couple months. Then they're back at their real home, in Florida or California or Arizona, somewhere where it's nice and warm. And they don't have to, Las Vegas. It's 9 times out of 10, I just, when I hear that, I don't even listen to it. It's just white noise to me, about guys. Oh, they bought a house here. They sold their house here. It doesn't mean dick to me.
No, it doesn't mean anything because, Tom Brady owns a house here. Shaquille O'Neal owns property here. There's a lot of celebrities that do. So I don't really buy into that either. But yeah, let's get to this Colts matchup. They're coming into town. arguably in worse shape than we are at this point.
Oh yeah,
Hell,
absolutely.
they brought in their former, all pro player,
Center,
Jeff Saturday to be their head coach. Doesn't have a lick of head coaching experience at the pro level. He coached in high school. Okay,
that's all you need, brother. That's coaching experience right there.
I guess.
I mean, yeah, but they've also been riddled with injuries. Yeah, you know what I mean. With Jonathan Taylor being hurt as much as he has, I think Pittman's been hurt a couple times. I don't know if I remember correctly or not, but yeah, they've had a rough go of it, and they're a much better team, I think, than what they've shown. And yeah, I don't know if Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan's done. If you ask me, I think he should probably hang it up. Or if he's going to continue to play, I don't think he's going to be a starter again.
Yeah, I honestly see him. I see him retiring at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Either he's going to retire or he's going to find a place to kind of just be a backup and just kind of ride it out. You know, maybe a championship contender just to get that Super Bowl ring or whatever. I mean, some guys want to do that. Evan Laurel says this turf monster's been rampant this year. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of guys going down with all kinds of leg injuries and not just ACLs and stuff, but so some of it's all that artificial turf. The Raiders have real grass, I believe, right, Rob? They roll it out in the sun to help it grow and stuff like that. But some of those teams with that artificial turf, I think there's just too much spring in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do have natural grass that we roll out here, and it's actually pretty neat how they were able to do that. I watched a program on it out here on TV, and yeah, it just sits on this stuff, and they just roll it out.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing that they have stadiums that do that. I think Arizona was the first to kind of do something like that, but I think maybe Las Vegas has taken it to the next step. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I hate the turf. I hated artificial turf back like at the vet when it was that hard like cement turf. You'd have out on your porch or whatever, like that green shit, like you fall on, you get rug burn. Then they went to the nicer stuff. It's not quite like grass, but it's not as hard as it was before. They have all those rubber pellets there, but now it seems like there's so much spring in it that guys are getting hurt from that. So I mean, I don't know. It's been hurting a lot of teams.
I talked to some college players that played a game or two at the old Veterans Stadium, and they said they said literally that place was a dump, and playing in that place was definitely brutal. How about you during your high school career? Did you ever play on artificial turf?
Yes, up in Wilkes-Barre, we played Wilkes-Barre Coughlin on turf, and it was awful. We played during the rain. And,
yeah, I remember that. I remember that field. I actually went up there for a freshman game with the late great Bear Larson.
Yeah, good dude, Coach Larson. How long ago did he pass away? A few years ago now.
Let's see. I bought my house 5 years ago. It was like right after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So he's gone, almost 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, hell of a coach. One of my favorites through all the seasons that I played. But my sophomore year, we played up on the turf in Wilkes-Barre during the rain, and just a rug burn from sliding on the turf and so hard. And then we played there again my senior year, and it wasn't raining, but it was cold as shit, and it was just it was a lot of fun. Give me grass any day, man.
It was just hard as a rock.
And that's what Evan says. I feel like this is going to be a turning point back to natural grass. Then he says turf got no give. It's like concrete, and then turf in the rain cuts the skin so bad. Absolutely, it's just that old artificial turf. It's hideous stuff. It's terrible.
Yeah. the Raiders, they have absolutely no idea what to expect, out of this Colts team. They just hired they just hired Saturday this week. He has
hired Saturday on a Monday.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's only coached high school football, and from what I've seen, he coached at a small Christian academy in Georgia, and he had an overall record of 20 and 16.
Huh.
So
well, he has Jesus Christ on his side now, Rob. Now we're screwed again. He was at a Christian school.
Yeah,
and just can't win, man.
Then he brings in this guy named Parks Frazier, who has never called any plays. So I mean, honestly, and I've said this on other shows. I mean, I don't know if you watched Big Mike's show on Thursday or not, but they got to talking about the Raiders, and I said, if the Raiders lose this game, I'm going to seriously think about committing myself, because if they lose to a team like this, I just don't even know how I would respond, to that. The F-bomb count would definitely exceed the allowable, amount that we agreed to.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but Rob, that's one of those things. The unknown, it can really creep up on you, and it's going to be one of those things. They'll probably put 40 points on us, Rob. Yeah, it's one of those things, like they're too stupid to know any better, too green to know any better, and their defense isn't all half that bad. And one of the things that I've continuously said over and over and over again about the whole Chandler Jones debacle is, I was so pissed off when we got rid of it's hard to say his name, Yannick Ngakoue to the Colts, and then we brought in Chandler Jones. It's the same freaking person, all right, except Yannick is 10 years younger. Last season, they both had 10.5 sacks or something like that. I know Yannick for us had 10.5 sacks, and then we trade him the hell away, and we bring in Chandler Jones. And Chandler Jones is like 36, and Yannick is 26. Why the hell did we not keep Yannick? That drives me nuts. And here he is with the Colts at 4.5 sacks already, just beating shit up. The dude was a playmaker for us last year, and we just dumped him. And he was pissed about it. He said, he wanted to stay a Raider. He said he's going to come back and make us regret it. So here it is.
Yeah, he's coming back. He's coming back angry and pissed off. So we'll definitely see. I mean, I just don't even know how to. I don't even know how to predict this game when we do our final score prediction.
You don't know if it's going to be high, if it's going to be low, if it's going to be this way, it's going to be that way. Who the hell knows? It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be tight. Joe Sullivan checking in. Jolton Joe, you can check him out on Wednesdays, the College Football Frenzy, and he also has his other shows, the Sully Squad on EOP and Devereaux Sports. He says no excuse to lose to the Colts. There's no. Well, to be honest with you, Joe, there was no excuse to lose to the freaking Jaguars. Last week. There's no excuses to lose the week before to who did we lose to the week before there? And what the hell was it? I can't remember now. I think it was another Central team. I don't remember. But anyway, the last two games, there was no reason. There's no excuses to lose the way we did. But here we are. I mean, and there's absolutely, and this is it, Rob. Like week after week, it's like, oh, can they still make the playoffs? And week after week, I hear Coach, who was that? That's playoffs?
Yeah, Jim Mora.
Yeah, Jim Mora. I keep hearing Jim Mora's head in my voice in my head. But this is it. If they lose, this game, they're done. They're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, there's no playoffs if they lose tomorrow.
10-7 might get them in the playoffs. But they still have Kansas City to play. They still have San Diego or Los Angeles Chargers to play. They still have, I think, the Patriots to play. So that there's some really tough games ahead yet. And so you can't be wasting losses on teams like this if you want to get into the show.
Right. Definitely. I agree with you, but what, like you said, the Colts could come out and, shock the hell out of us. I mean, it could be.
They have some playmakers. Jonathan Taylor, I believe, is going to be back. He's been injured, a good bit this season. So he's going to be back. Michael Pittman Jr., he's been up and down this year. So they have some playmakers. Sam Ehlinger throwing the balls only start. And his first two starts, I don't remember who they're against, but his first start, he passed for 201 yards. And his last start was, I guess, the Patriots, was barely over 100 yards. So he's not like a world burner at quarterback. But you know what? We have a thing where we make quarterbacks look really, 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 really good, make them look like all pros.
Yeah, that's true. We've certainly done that. We've certainly done that this season, and if we make this young quarterback look like an all pro, it's going to be a rough couple of games here to end the season, Ken.
Yeah, and you know what? It wouldn't be surprised if they start sitting guys too. Start sitting certain guys, and Adam Glenn says if they lose, McDaniels will be fired Monday. I don't think so. I think they're going to ride this pony until the end of the season, but you never know. It's there's one of the things I loved about Al Davis, Rob, is you didn't know what the hell was coming next. He could fire a guy after a win.
Yeah, he was quite the character. Yeah, you just didn't know what he was going to do. Yeah. Sometimes I nicknamed him Bipolar Al.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my God, yeah, 100%.
No, and to comment on Adam's comment. No, I don't see him being fired on Monday. I have to agree with Ken here. I think they'll let him ride out for the rest of the season, but you seriously have to start to question if the losing continues, and we've talked about this on other shows in the past, is McDaniels on the hot seat? And I would say yes, because the fans are starting to get frustrated. Definitely fans. They not only want to see McDaniels go, but like you said, they want to see Carr go, and they want to see Davis go too. But I don't see Carr, and I don't see Carr going anywhere, and Mark Davis isn't going anywhere because he has no intention of selling the team.
But he's making a lot of money too now.
He definitely is making a lot of money in this market. But the thing is, if the Raiders continue on this losing streak, the fans are not going to be happy about it. People don't come to Las Vegas to lose, Kenny, and we don't necessarily Las Vegas isn't a place where we're used to a lot of losing unless you're in the casino and you have like a gambling problem or something. But that's that's it. They expect big things from these sports franchises, and there have been people that have said I read a tweet last week. One of the days I read it that the ex-Twitter employees that were laid off should all get jobs with the Raiders because they'll never get fired.
Job security. Yeah, there we go. I'm sure we're hiring, so let's get everybody else that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Get them in the franchise there, get them in the locker rooms and all that stuff.
And like we talked about in our private chat, and it's relevant to what we're talking about now. The possibility of having Magic Johnson come in as a minority owner. He seems to win everywhere he goes. Everything he gets involved in, he seems to win. And I think I definitely think that Magic Johnson would have some influence as to, personnel decisions and, how things are going to be run. And, of course, I always have to throw this in here too. Maybe you can advise Mark Harris to get a better fucking haircut.
Yeah, that's number 2, Rob.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Magic Johnson has a bald head, so I don't know if he'd be able to get Davis a decent. Can you imagine Mark Davis with a bald head? Oh my God, that'd be terrible. Liver spots on his head and everything. Holy crap! Eyebrows gone.
I would ask for the shitty haircut back.
Yeah, I want the bowl cut back.
That's one of those situations where you go, it could always be worse.
It could always be worse. So yeah, I think I don't know what to say about Josh McDaniels in a hot seat. I think he is, but then there's sometimes I'm thinking like, man, I don't know. It's one of those things like he doesn't have his personnel set yet. Like, do you give him another year to get his kind of guys in, which makes me want to throw up everywhere. And I don't know. I want to say he's on the hot seat because I don't want him here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's back next season. With a whole bunch of different moves in the offseason, because I think we're going to be $40 million under the cap. I think I read somewhere. So
yeah,
there's room to spend.
We are going to have some. We are going to have some money to spend. We'll have the opportunity to go out and make moves. So, and I'm with you. I don't want him here. I mean, he wasn't my first choice.
Yeah. And he wasn't mine either. I like I said, I liked Harbaugh. I was hoping Harbaugh because we need somebody insane, I thought, to get us where we needed to be, and we got a guy that failed in Denver. So
well, talking about Harbaugh, do you ever see him leaving Michigan at this point?
Not right now. No, he's been winning. He's been winning, and people like him again. When he wasn't winning and getting his ball smacked by Ohio State, they wanted him out something fierce. But now he beat Ohio State last year, and he has him ranked in the top 4. In the BCS conversation and stuff like that. So I don't see him leaving right now. But he seems like a type of guy that doesn't want to settle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to be out somewhere for too long. And he's been at Michigan, I don't know for how long, probably close to 8 years, 10 years, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's been there for a while.
Eight or nine years, I believe. It's quite some time.
Yeah, so it wouldn't shock me if he left in a couple of years, but I don't see it within the next year or two, unless an absolutely perfect job opens up for him in the NFL. I don't see him, going anywhere else college-wise. But I think an opportunity like Las Vegas, I think if that came to him, I think he would take it. I think he would leave Michigan for Las Vegas.
I would be the happiest man alive if that happened. I didn't like the fact that he went to Michigan, being a Penn State guy. But if he were to come here to Las Vegas, all would be forgiven.
He wouldn't be wearing the maize anymore. The maize in blue. He'd be wearing the silver and black. So all's forgiven there.
Right. So
so let's go to the final score.
Sure. Why not? Let's see what we think about the final score, and let's see if we're right or we're wrong. I don't think I've been close with any of these final scores all season so far.
The only part I've been close has been how much our defense gives up, because I said they're going to average giving up around 24 to 27 points per game. So I always try to guess in the 20s somewhere. So usually I'm pretty close with that. But with the winning part and then how much we score, I'm way the hell off.
All right, so I guess I'll go first tonight.
Right.
I am going to say that the Raiders are gonna win 31-21.
All righty, 31-21. I also think that the fighting Las Vegas Raiders are going to win 34-17. Our defense is going to keep them under 20 points today or tomorrow. So 34-17, you have 31-21. So we're pretty close there.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see. I'm sure I'll be chatting with you, in our chat tomorrow during the game while you're at soccer tournaments and what have you. And
Yeah.
as long as you don't see a Facebook message from Celeste saying Rob smashed the TV and he's on his way to the hospital, I guess things are okay.
Rob had a coronary. That's it. He's done. He's out.
Yeah.
The Raiders took Rob out. Do you have anything else on the Raiders you want to get off your chest?
No, not really. Unless you had anything else, I think we've pretty much covered. How disappointed we've been, because we were all hoping that Jacksonville would be a winnable game. But yeah, I mean, let's transition into something else that makes us happy, or at least me happy, because you're a Kings fan. But the Vegas Golden Knights, are giving us stuff worth talking about. As of right now, they're 13-2 on the season and currently have a 9-game winning streak, with a lead in the Pacific Division with 26 points. So
second place are my Los Angeles Kings at 9-6 with 19 points. So we're way behind you.
Yeah, but it could be interesting, because those Golden Knights, Kings games get pretty intense. It's a pretty intense rivalry here in the Pacific Division. So there might be times when we're going on the show here and we're battling against each other, and
we'll be shit talking each other then, buddy.
Absolutely,
it's on.
We'll be talking smack.
The one thing that really impressed me as I was looking over the Golden Knights stats, their goaltending situation. That's something that we talked about weeks ago, Rob, about how their goaltending situation was going to be really sketchy. And I tell you what, Logan Thompson 8-2 with a 2.32 goals against, and Aiden Hill 5-0 with a 2.17 goals against. That's pretty impressive, man. Two goalies like that playing awesome, lights out.
They are playing awesome hockey right now, and as well as Riley Smith. I mean, Riley Smith has really stepped up, here over the course of the last couple games, and is really getting it done. For this for this team, and we're just loaded right now with all kinds of scoring opportunities. With Mark Eichel the other day in Buffalo. Going back to Buffalo. Where he started, he was the captain there. They booed the shit out of him, but he was like, he was happy to go back, to Buffalo and get one from them. So, I mean, the Golden Knights have, really given us something to watch. I mean, over the last week here, the hockey's been pretty damn good. In Las Vegas, last Saturday night against the Montreal Canadiens, Riley Smith scored 2 goals, and we beat them 6-4. Jonathan Marchessault and Keenan Kossel each had a goal and an assist, and Nicholas Yu had and Nicholas Waugh also scored. So. We're having a hell of a start, and you're definitely right with the goaltending situation. And I said this going into the season and on prior shows, that I thought with Robin Lehner, going to be out for the whole season due to his issues, that the Golden Knights might be a little shaky, and I had some questions regarding the whole goaltending situation. But now, the big question is, when Leonard comes back, does Leonard have a job now?
You know what? It's you stick with the hot hands, man, and they're hot. I don't know. Do you go back to them? It's one of those things. If these guys,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What I would go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is, if it's working, don't mess with it.
Yeah.
If they're winning games, we make it to the playoffs. I don't want to get too far ahead here, but if it's successful and it's proven that it's working, you definitely don't go back to Robin Leonard, who has had his questionable moments. It's kind of like he's kind of like a football version of Eli Manning. So you just don't know what Robin Leonard is going to show up. Just with the same with Eli Manning. I mean, he had his bright spots. Won 2 Super Bowl rings, but he did have his moments where he was kind of inconsistent at times, and you just didn't know what you were getting. And that's kind of the way I feel about Robin Leonard. And Celeste is not a very big fan of him either. So we're very pleased with the way the goaltenders have played. Absolutely. So I would not be a fan of going back to Leonard. If they went back to Leonard after these two guys have been, if they continue to be successful, I think I would be going to Best Buy buying another TV, because I'd probably throw something through the TV at this point.
Best Buy's waiting for you, Rob.
I don't know, Kenny. I'm getting kind of hostile here recently. I don't know what's going on, but
that's the skook in you, man. It's early in the season yet, but yeah, if they keep rolling the way they are with these goalies, there ain't no way they should be making a change back to Leonard. No way.
No.
In my opinion, it's hard. Could you if both these guys keep going the way they're going? Are you able to even keep both of them, or one of them going to want to? I don't know how they what kind of their contracts look like. But both of them are just playing outstanding, and the backup goalie Aiden Hill only playing 5 games, a 5-0, 2.17. Is he going to want to stay a backup goalie? Is somebody going to be looking for his services potentially as a starting goalie if he's playing this well?
Yeah, I mean those are always issues that you're gonna have. When they brought Leonard into the equation. Marc-Andre Fleury was still here, and they thought, Marc-Andre Fleury and Leonard were going to be a 1-2 punch, and it turned out not to materialize that way. Of course, Leonard's still here, but he's out, and of course, Fleury's gone. So
he's in Nashville, right? Is he in Nashville?
Last I knew, I thought he was in. What was it? Was it Minnesota?
Minnesota, that's it. Yeah, Minnesota Wild. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, he's moved around a lot, and there were a lot of people here that were bitter, with the Golden Knights for the way they handled the whole situation. So I can tell you that there are still a lot of Marc-Andre Fleury fans, in this town. But like I've said to Celeste, and people that in this town that didn't necessarily watch sports before are finding out that professional sports it is a business. So I'm just kind of sitting back, and enjoying these moments with this team right now, because they keep playing the way they're playing. We're gonna have something. We're gonna have something special. We're gonna have something special here. So yeah, I mean, definitely, Raiders are kind of making us depressed, but at least I can say that I have a hockey team that's winning, and then two, not to get too far off topic, but the Philadelphia Flyers, they're not doing too bad either.
Yeah. At least you got that too, Rob. You got the Golden Knights and the Flyers doing all right. So yeah, and the Kings, for me, the Kings have won 3 in a row, so they're playing all right. So I've been following them a little bit, trying to stay on top of what they've been doing lately. So yeah, so the people of Vegas still have the Golden Knights, 9 in a row, looking pretty good early on. Hopefully they can keep it rolling for them out there.
Well,
so they don't have to.
I watched that Kings game the other night. What a hell of a game that was.
Which one was that? Kings Blackhawks or the one last night? Kings. Who'd they beat last? They beat somebody in overtime last night. I can't remember who it was. Or it was 2 nights ago, Friday night.
Yeah, it was the game on Friday night.
Yeah, I can't remember who they played against. We're working night shift on my Fridays or Thursdays, and Thursdays are Wednesdays, and Wednesdays are Mondays. It's confusing.
Well,
so I don't remember what day's what.
Yeah, well, with you working night shift and running here, running there with the kids, I'm surprised you know what the hell day it is.
It's day. That's all I know. It's either Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's day.
Right.
Yeah, I like to say, Rob, my last name's Fry. Every day's Friday, so that's all that matters to me.
Absolutely.
Every day's Fry Foundation Day.
Absolutely, the good old days.
All right, we'll move on to XFL Vegas style.
All right. Well, the XFL they announced their team name here. They're going to be they're going to be called the Las Vegas Vipers, and of course they're going to be coached by Raiders legend Rod Woodson, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely, former Raider, Hall of Famer.
And then I think it's November 15th through the 17th. The XFL draft is going to be here in Las Vegas.
Oh, there we go. I wonder if that's going to be televised. What do you think, Rob?
I don't think it's going to be televised at this point. They have said that you could watch it live on XFL.com or Twitter. Everybody's using that old tweet machine.
the old Twitter machine.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at their coaching staff here. They don't have an offensive coordinator yet. They have Ray Sherman as wide receivers coach. No, there isn't too many names that I recognize besides Rod Woodson as the head coach. Dr. Jen Welter as the linebackers coach. I assume that's a female, Dr. Jen.
I would hope so. I mean,
my wife's name is Jen. She's a girl. Last I checked.
Well,
I
certainly hope so, Ken.
I watched the children being born. She's a lady. Or was a lady anyway. After the kids were born, there's some stuff that happened down there. I don't want to see it again.
But we're not even going here.
I could draw you a diagram. I'll tell you what, man.
But all right, let's get back to sports here, man. But they have no idea. They haven't announced where they're playing yet. I can't think it would be anywhere other than Allegiant Stadium, but I don't know. I know they're taking deposits for season tickets. I'm gonna look at that and see what the cost is for that. I might end up getting some tickets, and checking the XFL out. I've always been a fan of the XFL. And, when they did the original XFL back in 2001, I was actually a Vegas Outlaws fan. And that
I like that name. I like Outlaws. I don't like the Vipers name. It doesn't feel like it fits to me. I don't know.
Yeah, why not bring the Outlaws? Why not bring the team name back?
Yeah.
When I saw they were going to be called the Vipers, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
really, yeah.
Did you get a lot of Vipers out there in Vegas, Rob? There's a lot of Vipers around, or is that like something you worry about, or?
No.
I mean, it's like something to me. It wants something kind of like that has to deal with the area, the town, the state of Nevada or Las Vegas itself. There's so many different ways, like Outlaws, like robbing a casino, or like I still picture like the running rebels of UNLV and stuff, stuff like that. Like I can see that with Vegas Outlaws and running rebels, uh, pit boss. I don't know.
Well, I'm surprised that's another name they haven't tried to change. The UNLV Rebels, not yet.
Not yet, not yet. I'm looking at an article from 2 weeks ago here, and it says there's that talk of the Vipers looking at Cashman Field. Where's that at, Rob? What is Cashman Field?
Cashman Field is an old minor league baseball stadium. The Las Vegas 51s, that actually was the minor league team here. Up until a few years ago, they were replaced with the Aviators, and the Las Vegas 51s. They actually used to be the Triple A affiliates of the New York Mets.
Yeah.
So since they've converted that stadium from a baseball stadium to a soccer stadium. So there's some kind of a soccer league that plays here. It's not the MLS, but it's one of their minor league, systems or farm systems or whatever, developmental leagues, whatever you want to call it. But that could be an interesting site. But
it says that Allegiant Stadium's too big. I guess that they figure that they probably won't fill all those seats, and it's too expensive to rent.
Right.
And, the old UNLV stadium.
Oh, that place is a fucking toilet bowl.
The Boyd Stadium, Sam Boyd Stadium said is closed down anyway.
Yeah.
And so they said they're also looking at XFL looked at the Las Vegas Aviators Las Vegas ballpark in Summerlin, but the Aviators president said the football field didn't fit. So
yeah. And you know what, I can't say that I blame them for not wanting the XFL in there, because I mean, honestly, the XFL, that stadium at this point would probably only hold maybe 11,000 people if they're lucky. I mean, typically they'll get like 8,600 maybe for an Aviators game. It's a beautiful ballpark. It is in a great area of town. I don't live too far away from it, so it would have been really convenient for me if they would have played there. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see that about Cashman, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's an option. It sounds like that might be the only option right now. I don't know what site that was that I looked on. Las Vegas Sports Biz, LV Sports Biz.
Okay.
So it's I don't know what other options they really have, and XFL season starts, I guess, a week after the Super Bowl, so they're gonna have to figure something out pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm excited to have them here, and it'll be interesting to see how it all goes over, with the people of Las Vegas, how it goes over with the tourist. I mean, I'm interested in it for the fact that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is behind it. I mean, anything that this guy does, I can't think of anything that he's ever done that has been bad or awful. So that's why I'm intrigued by it.
Oh, it's 100% with the Rock. You know what I mean? It's everything he does is balls to the wall, 100%. If it fails, it fails. But he's going to give his best effort to make it successful.
Right. Definitely. So yeah, I'll definitely keep everybody posted as to what's going on with that out here, and too with me looking into the possibility of season tickets. I'll keep you posted on that too.
Yeah. Before we move on to our next topic, Rob, I want to remind everybody to hit that like, follow, subscribe buttons there for our show, for Out of the Box Sports Network on Facebook, Twitter, the old Twitchy Twitch, the YouTube, especially YouTube. Subscribe, Facebook, like and follow us. Always give those thumbs ups and the hearts. The hearts, that means a lot. That means a lot. Blub blub blub. There we go. So you make sure if you're gonna watch the show, subscribe. Make sure you hit notification and hit that little bell so you're notified every time our show's on, or any of the other shows that you like, anything on Out of the Box Sports Network. Like I said, we have a hell of a variety of shows on here, and just hit that like and follow.
Yeah, definitely tell us you like us, tell us you don't like us, but if you don't like us, tell us why you don't like us.
Yeah, a little bit of feedback instead of saying we're ugly. No hateful comments, all right? Just positive feedback. It doesn't have to be. Just let us know if we're good or bad, what we're doing wrong. Constructive criticism.
A little constructive criticism, is always good.
Yeah, that's all we ask.
So the A's to Vegas update. Now, let's just start off by me saying this. This has had more twists and turns than a roller coaster at Circus Circus or the Manhattan Express at the New York Hotel and Casino on the Strip.
It's been wild, man.
Yeah, I heard you a week or two ago. You had brought this up on your on your baseball show, and you said that you wanted to get my opinion on this. I am honestly first they're talking about coming here, then they're saying that the deal's going to materialize in Oakland. Then you've got the commissioner of Major League Baseball comes out during a press conference or some kind of an event and says, he's not very optimistic about the stadium deal materializing. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard a commissioner of any sport come out and say anything negative about a potential deal for any team in their prospective league? I honestly have never heard that.
I haven't either. He doesn't. First off, he doesn't want them in Oakland. It's so obvious after that. He doesn't want them in Oakland. He doesn't want a deal to materialize. He wants them out of Oakland. Las Vegas, a brand new sports market, up and coming, huge interest in Vegas with all the goings on there, huge tourist attraction, money. I've never, ever, and I would have never even thought I would have heard a commissioner say something like that off the cuff about a proposed stadium deal for any team, but for this in Oakland. And just saying, that's not going to happen. They're probably going to end up in Vegas. And not only putting the kibosh saying he doesn't think that deal's going to happen, but having the team play in another freaking city, in another market. That's insane. I never heard anything like that. I would have never even thought that would come out of a commissioner's mouth.
Now, I know that the A's have been here. They've looked at, potential, stadium sites. And then, of course, it kind of went cold for a little while until the commissioner, made his comments, and now now it's back up and people are talking about it again. Now, from what I understand, the research that I've done into this, and of course, I try to bring out as much as I can about any team that is potentially that potentially wants to come here. Now, what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is that the A's are going to want public money in order to build this stadium, somewhere in the excess of $200 million. Now, there's a couple things that you have to consider. Okay, there was a lot of money that went into the Raiders stadium. They initiated a room tax for people when you rent a hotel here. I'm not sure exactly what the tax figures are, but there's revenue that is generated from that helps to pay for Allegiant Stadium. And then of course you had COVID that kind of shut everything down, and there's been some issues with that as well. And then we have the brand new T-Mobile Arena that was just built. So there's quite a bit of money that's already been invested.
You ain't joking.
In professional sports here in Las Vegas. Politicians have gone on record here saying that there isn't going to be any public funding for the A's if they choose to come here. So it mainly comes down to a money issue at this point. And honestly, and I don't want to get too political on this show, because that's not what this show is about. But we had a gubernatorial election here on Tuesday, and the incumbent governor, Steve Sisolak, who's been the biggest cheerleader, for the Nevada sports market, got voted out of office. So, you have to look at the new governor's agenda, and is that going to include having, professional sports here when, there are people that actually live here, locals like me, and, the locals, a lot of them are in favor of having sports here. And, I'm one of those people, but then you see the other side of the coin, where we have one of the worst public school systems in the country here in the state of Nevada. So obviously there's other priorities in which this money, can go to. I've always been a big fan of the sports market and watching the sports market grow. Hell, this is the reason that I've chosen, to do this show. That's why I'm here. I'm here doing this. That's why we're here, doing this, because it is such an intriguing, sports market. But at the same time, you do have some people out there that say the money could be better spent. And with a new governor, is it going to be as big of a priority, as it is now? And then two, you're bringing the Oakland A's to town. I mean, this is an ownership that has not spent money to attract quality, free agents, quality players. And the A's are essentially saying they want this $1 billion state-of-the-art ballpark, to be able to attract players. But here's the thing. Are the A's as an organization going to spend money to bring talent in here to the A's if they move to Las Vegas? And then two, as a local, and I look at this sports market, I mean, honestly, I consider Las Vegas to be a hockey town. And the reason I say that is because the Vegas Golden Knights are homegrown. They're an expansion team, and then you got the recent success of the Las Vegas Lady Aces. I mean, I would say they're tied for two, with the Raiders at this point. So, where does the A's fit in, and how are the A's going to have local support? I mean, I know the Golden Knights do. I know the Raiders do to a certain extent, but or is Vegas just going to be one of those places where you plan a vacation over a 3 or 4 game series? Come to Vegas, party during the day, go to baseball game, and then go back to partying at night. Is it going to be something that the locals are going to going to get into? I mean, that's always sort of been my question, regarding that. I mean, I'm a big baseball fan, and I would maybe look at doing a Saturday, Sunday plan or something during baseball season. I like to go out and get to the ballpark and that sort of stuff. But are the A's going to put the caliber type team that the people of Las Vegas are going to want?
And that's a huge question. Back to the money thing. It shouldn't be all on the people of Las Vegas to pay for a stadium. In my opinion, it should be a 50-50 split. It should be half on the ownership or whatever group that they have going on there, and the other half should be the county, the state, whatever it is, and go from there. It shouldn't be all on the people. If it is all on the people, they shouldn't go there. They should turn them away until they figure it out. Because you're right, because the money could be better spent, elsewhere than in a $1 billion stadium for a baseball team that's going to come in and lose 115 games. And with that being said, I've said this before, if the A's were to go to Vegas, if I'm Las Vegas, one of the stipulations I would have is like, listen, dude, you're going to have to spend some money if you're going to come here. If you're not going to win, you better bring in some superstars, at least to put asses in seats to where, there's going to be people that there's going to be somebody on the field that people are going to want to come see. If you're going to lose, 80, 90 games every season, at least have somebody out there that, they have somebody to root for. I don't even know who the hell plays in Oakland anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much a team of nobodies anymore. I mean, and there again. I mean, you've got Los Angeles so close to here. You have a lot of Dodgers fans, in this town, and a lot of people will make the 3-4 hour car trip to go over to LA and see the Dodgers. A lot of people will buy cheap airline flights. You can get a flight from here to Los Angeles, and it's like maybe $150 round trip, something like that. So it's not that overly expensive to fly over, watch, get an Uber from the airport to the stadium, watch the game, and even if you don't want to spend the night over there, you fly over and fly back in the same day. I mean, it's easy to do. I've never done it in the same day, but I know it can be done. I know it's possible. So with the Oakland A's, would they be able to make a go of it here? And like you said, there would have to be stipulations put in place. And I mean, if I were a governor or an elected official here, in the state or in the county, I would be asking these same questions. I mean,
I would say, I don't know what their payroll is right now, but I'm saying, hey, your payroll annually has been 125 million, 140 million. We need it to be 200 million to 220 million every year. So that shows us that you're here to actually win. You know what I mean? I mean, the way they've been spending money, Rob, or not spending money in that fact, but they've in their past seasons, they have put a product out there to make the playoffs, or at least to be in playoff contention till the end. And then they those guys that performed well, either they want a better contract, or the A's don't perform well the next season and they trade them away because they know that those players are going to want a bigger contract come the next season. So it has to be something put forward. I think if the A's would go to Vegas, I do believe that the Vegas people would support them at first until the season. If it's halfway through the season and it's the same old Oakland A's, then you know what, why?
Well, the Raiders fans here are getting ugly, Ken. So I mean, could you imagine if they hyped the A's up? If they hype the A's up to be something good, something spectacular, and they lose 100 games. I mean, yeah. I mean, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm in favor of it. I would support the A's. I mean, Celeste and her family, they're originally from Oakland. I'm sure that. I'm sure that I could, get Celeste or her mom to go to a game, or maybe even relatives that they have from Oakland. They like to come down here to town too. They might even check out a game, but not if the A's are losing or really bad.
No, yeah. If that happens, you're just going to see empty seats, just like it is in Oakland anyway. You're going to see young couples in the upper parts of the stands having oral sex with each other, just like they were in Oakland. I don't know if you ever seen that video.
Yeah, I haven't seen the video, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, there was a clip. It's I don't know, unless she lost her keys in his lap somewhere. That's what was going on.
Well, hey,
it could happen, Rob. People lose keys.
No, let me tell you, it would not surprise me if a couple was in the upper deck of a stadium out here, doing that. I mean, it is Vegas after all.
What happens in Vegas, right?
What they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but that's not always the case. And hell, you look at a guy like, and I'm getting really off topic here, but you look at a guy like O.J. Simpson. He came here on a vacation and was on probation, and now he's even off parole, and we're still not able to get rid of him.
He's just like you, Rob. He's a local now.
Oh yeah, he's a local, and he doesn't live too far from me. I wouldn't be surprised if I go out to a restaurant here and we see him out somewhere.
He's gonna come over knocking on your door looking for sugar.
Well, you know what? We might even have him on the show.
There we go. Walking by, hey OJ, come in here. We want to interview you.
That would be really out of the box.
Yeah, that would be something.
Yeah, I'm still hoping that I run into him somewhere out here, because like he's not far from where we are, from where my condo is, and he actually eats in some restaurants in some restaurants that we actually are close to or within the same vicinity of other restaurants that we've been to. So it's kind of interesting, with regards to that. But speaking of restaurants, I thought it would be cool to do a top 10 list, like we've done occasionally in the past on this show. We've done one, and you seem to do them pretty regular on your baseball show now, and it's always interesting. But I thought, since you and I are from both Schuylkill County, and that's where we were born, that's where we were raised, and so far, I mean, that's where I spent the majority of my life. So, there people ask me, well, what do you miss? And I was starting to think about this, and restaurants. So I can go ahead first, and then if you have one,
I got one, brother.
I'm sure you do, and I'll be curious to see if we have some similar places on here, and then maybe some other ones that I have forgotten about. But I mean, hell, if I come back to Schuylkill County, I'll probably have to buy a bigger size pant because
Just wear jogging pants. You're good.
yeah, I could get away with that in Schuylkill County.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so number 10. I'm gonna go with the Wooden Keg over in St. Clair. Great place. Good variety of food. Something for everyone. I've had good wings over there. I've had good burgers, and one of my favorites from over there is the Irish cheesesteak, which is very, very good. So
Adam Glass says you're a skook for life.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I always tell people, Vegas might be home now, but I'm the kind of guy that I'm still very, very humble, and I will never forget where I come from, and the whole skook work ethic too. People see that out here. People understand, and there have been people that have said, I wish we had 10 or 12 more people just like you, because I just have that no quit kind of mentality, and that's definitely Adam's correct. I mean, I love Las Vegas, and I'm okay with Schuylkill County too. I just don't want to live there anymore.
I don't blame you, buddy.
Another good place I always liked, and I always liked going there for like family dinners, and things like that. The Red Lion Cafe down there in Pine Grove. Good food all around. Good place where you can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's a rarity anymore from what I'm hearing about back there. There's very few places that actually do 3 meals a day. They're now, so that's always been a favorite of mine. And then of course the desserts. I come back there, man. I tell you what, I have to put the fat pants on. And then of course my number 9 is Valente's there in Origsburg and Schuylkill Haven. Make damn good hoagies. I remember.
Man, fantastic hoagies.
Oh yeah, fantastic hoagies, pizza, stromboli, pasta dishes. I never had a bad meal there. Damn, Ken. You might get a call from me one day saying I'm at like Philly International Airport or Harrisburg.
I could ship you a hoagie if you want. I don't know if it's going to make it out there good or not, but
and then another place I always enjoyed going to eat back there was Roman Delight in Origsburg. I guess they call it Carmelo's Roman Delight now.
Yep.
That was always good. Always liked the Italian inspired dishes they had there. They also made a pretty good steak. I always had good meals. Always had good meals there. That was another place that I always liked. My number 6 is Maz's Cafe in Frackville.
All right. Yep, I heard of that place. I've never eaten there before.
Very, very, very good wings. Very good bar food. Burgers. They even have a pizza that's pretty good. And actually, I believe they do an all you can eat wing night. It's probably the only place in the scoop that does the all you can eat wing nights anymore. I think it's like $20 for all you can eat. And the wings are good. I used to go there quite frequently with Beasley Yarnell. You remember Beasley?
Oh, I absolutely remember Beasley. Yes, I do. What a character!
He's my 6th Ward brother. I mean, we practically grew up together. Oh my God, I could do a show on some of the shenanigans him and I pulled.
I can imagine.
And then my number five, always a Pottsville, staple, and anybody that goes home to Pottsville always has to hit this place. And my uncle Leo is one of them. It's the Coney Island. I guess the only Coney Island back there anymore is the one in Yorkville, because the one downtown was closed even before I left. And then I guess the Coney Express closed up in the mall. I saw Alfredo McCurry did a show about that on his podcast. That he does. So yeah,
Campfire. Yep.
Yeah. So always, I always have to go to the Coney Island when I'm back. Good cheese dogs with everything. The Coney burgers. I still haven't been able to find a hot dog place out here in Las Vegas that even compares to the Coney Island in Pottsville.
It's hard, man. You get a Coney dog, and those are hard to beat, brother.
And then number 4 is the Pottsville Zone, the old stadium. Many good nights spent in there, pre 21 and after I turned 21. Paul Lazarchik, great guy. Wings are still out of this world. In fact, I think he was one of the original wing nights back there in Schuylkill County.
That place would get so packed for wing night, it'd be impossible to get in there. And then if you got in late, they were out of wings. It was that place was hopping during wing night.
Yeah, well, you could blame me and your brother and your cousin and Beasley Arnell for that, and also Bill Long. Do you remember Bill Long?
Oh yeah, I remember Bill Long. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we were we pretty much were at the stadium. If we weren't there every Wednesday for wing night, I don't know what the hell else was going on, but it was like we were always there. So yeah, we were responsible for eating Paul out of wings. I think he's the reason why he stopped the all you can eat wing nights. I had something to do with that.
You're the reason why he lives on a mansion in a mountain, probably.
Yeah, but I mean any food that I've ever had there has been great. He does a great catering business now, from what I understand, as well. And I've been to some events back there where they've had it catered from the Pottsville Zone, and it's always been good. And then too, if you don't want wings, I remember just going in there on a Saturday afternoon before I came out here, and made this journey. I was just bored one day, and I said I'm going to go to the stadium, and he was surprised when he found out I didn't want wings, but I ended up ordering a burger, and it was like one of the best burgers that I've ever had.
Hell of a burger there.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean that's definitely a good place, and that's a go-to. That's a go-to for me. If I can't go to the Pottsville Zone while I'm back in Pottsville, I'm not coming back.
You'll be able to go to the Pottsville Zone. They're open and they're doing well.
Okay, but my third choice on the list is a good old staple, Pottsville Pizzeria.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Ate enough of that as a kid, baked and unbaked.
Yep, I'm always buying the unbaked in the stores.
Yeah. I used to buy the unbaked and freeze them, and I'd have pizza. I'd have pizza whenever I wanted it. Now, one thing with Celeste is she's really not a pizza person, so we don't eat a whole lot of it.
Wow.
So, me being a back east guy, it's always been pizza for us, whether it's Pottsville Pizzeria, Palermo's, Roma Pizza, which is also on my list. And you can find good pizza out here. You just gotta look for it. I have a couple of places out here. I know a couple of people from New York that have opened pizza shops out here and have done pretty well. But I'm going to tell you, I mean, I don't think anything compares to Back East Pizza. I don't know if it's a water thing. They use the water to make the dough. I'm not sure, but nothing compares to Back East Pizza at this point.
It's all that sweat in the dough.
Well, maybe it's that too. My number two would be Farlow's Hoagies. Now, I know you're a big hoagie guy.
I love hoagies. Yep.
And so am I. I could eat hoagies a couple days a week. If Celeste would let me, then my cholesterol probably would be through the roof. She's trying to get me to eat healthy, Kenny, and all I want are pizzas and hoagies and wings, and she's like, well, a salad, a nice salad would be nice. So yeah, I have to occasionally eat a salad, but she's a pretty good cook, and she does some pretty amazing things with salads. She actually makes salad eating somewhat exciting. I don't always complain about it, but of course my number one on the list is Roma. It is Roma Pizza. I've always been a Roma guy. I've never had bad pizza there. And then when he expanded the restaurant, he has a nice menu in there too. I prefer the cheesesteaks there too, and the ham and cheese hoagie is pretty good.
Absolutely. And the big ass salad they have there. Talking about salads before, the chef salad is just a monster.
Yeah, those chef salads are just out of this world. And then too, if you're into like Italian meats, like salami and that stuff, pepperoni, they have a hell of an antipasto there. So, check that out. Check that out too. But yeah, I mean, I just thought we'd go over the restaurants. And then I just have like three honorable mentions that I felt that
Get them out there, brother. Get them out there.
Okay, so my first one, Charlie's Pizza and Subs. Now, it's my understanding that, and I know it was up for sale. Some people took it over, and I'm hearing through the grapevine that it's for sale again.
I do not know that. It wouldn't surprise me though. I know a lot of people were complaining about their food. I haven't eaten there since it's changed ownership. I used to eat there all the time I'd get the extra large hoagies with extra mayo. And that's what I used to go for. They don't carry them anymore. I stopped going there. So, but I heard their food was okay. Yeah. But I haven't heard anything really, not a whole lot about them.
Yeah, I was a big ham and cheese guy with extra mayo, and then the Italian hoagies. I always liked those too. I don't know how it is since the new owners took over. But I will say this: when I heard Charlie's was going up for sale the first time, I actually contemplated buying Charlie's or looking into buying Charlie's.
So did the Fry Foundation here. Me and the brothers were looking in our wallets. We just couldn't make it work.
Yeah, what did they want? It was like $100,000 for the whole place, and then you got all the recipes and stuff. And I contemplated it, but I thought to myself, how can I make this? How can I make this work? And then living out here on the West Coast, yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. But
no,
if a place like that is ran correctly, you have a gold mine in there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was definitely definitely a favorite of mine. And then also with the honorable mentions, I always liked Ricky's Chinese food over there in the plaza on the Pottsville Minersville Highway. That's another thing that I've had a difficult time finding out here, because there's different styles of Chinese food, and Ricky's always does like a New York style Chinese food. They have different they have different like Chinese food based on where you might where you might be from. So I have only found one place in Las Vegas so far that's comparable to what I used to get at Ricky's over there on the highway.
Everybody loves Ricky's out here.
Yeah, and then last but certainly not least, I had to include this. Good old Heisler's Dairy Bar, man.
The desserts galore. Even their pizza's pretty decent too.
I've had the pizza in the past, and then their pork sandwiches. Do they still do the pork sandwiches?
I believe they do. I'm not sure. I never had one, but I'm pretty sure that it's still on the menu. Usually, it's just I'm up there for the ice cream.
Yeah, but
and the miniature golf, the ice cream and the miniature golf. That's what I'm there for.
Well, it's not a bad time. I'm glad the place is still there, and I'm glad to see that some of my favorite restaurants and things are still.
And that's why I'll tell you what, Rob, out of your top 10 there, I was really surprised that all your top 10 selections were still open. That's why I'm like he's going to have one or two that are going to be closed. I'm going to break his heart by saying they're closed, Rob. But no, they're all still there. So I was impressed.
What do you have for the top 10?
All right, buddy. I got 10. I got the Mannheim Diner. Your typical diner food there. I love their pancakes. The kids love their pancakes. They also do a Thanksgiving Day sandwich there. They do it off and on throughout the year. Well, they'll put potato stuffing, some turkey, some cranberry sauce, and gravy on a toasted butter bread. And it's just fantastic. It really, it's heavy.
Man, that does sound good.
Absolutely.
One thing about the Mannheim Diner, the food was always good there. But one thing I can never remember if I was actually in that place sober.
That's how I feel about the Pottsville Diner. Actually, I was in that place so many times, but usually it was on the inebriated side of the day.
Oh yes, I've been to Pottsville Diner too many times on the inebriated side of things, and yeah. But is it still open?
The Pottsville Diner?
Yeah.
Yes, but not 24 hours. It's owned by the people that own the Mannheim Diner. So basically, it's like the Mannheim Diner 2.0. So I've not heard too many good things about it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's another place my Uncle Leo always likes to go. He's like, oh, let's go to the Pottsville Diner. I'm like, okay. Of all the places you could go back here, you want to go there? Yeah, why? What's wrong with it? I'm like, okay.
It's a dirty place, but I'll tell you what, they made a hell of a breakfast there. The He-Man breakfast was to die for.
Absolutely. Damn, you're making me hungry. I swear one of these days I'm going to show up back there and knock on your door.
Let's go, Rob. Number 9, I have the Coney Island. I was a huge fan of their double cheeseburger with the stewed onions and the pickles, and I'd also get their cheese fries. And that was any time of the day. It didn't matter. 6 a.m., 6 p.m. It did not matter. Huge fan, and I love their mushroom and cheese omelets and their Coney dogs, of course. They're fantastic Coney dogs.
Yeah, Coney dogs were always good. The burgers were always good. And then later on, they expanded their menu too. They also did a wing night, which was good. And then I guess my favorite breakfast item from there was the hot dog omelet. They do a hot dog omelet.
Oh, I never had a hot dog omelet.
yeah, which is pretty good.
Number 8, I have the Friedensburg Country Restaurant. A really good place. I like their breakfast there more than anything. When we order there, we'll for takeout. We also sit in there once in a while. Their spaghetti's pretty decent too. The kids like their spaghetti. So, but I'm a big fan of their breakfast there at the Friedensburg Country Restaurant. And then number 7, I have La Quista de Familia, a Mexican place in Shenandoah, which is probably the best Mexican place you can have in the area. It just is so good. Authentic Mexican food, and it's just fantastic.
Oh hell yeah! I used to go there all the time with my aunt. She loves that place.
Oh yeah, and so number 6, I have another Mexican place, a newer one in Schuylkill Haven, the Rivera Maya in Schuylkill Haven. Like I said, just opened recently. I've eaten there twice, and both times, absolutely out of this world. Spot on Mexican food. I'm not a huge fan of how they package it in the containers, but it doesn't matter to me. It's like looking at it like it's like a bunch of slop. And then you just start eating it. It's so good. It's fantastic. Number 5, I have the Wheel restaurant. Have you ever eaten at the Wheel?
I haven't, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Now, for those of you that don't know or may know already, the Wheel's a grilled cheese sandwich restaurant, and they have so many different selections on how to build your grilled cheese and stuff like that. It's just you can put pretty much anything on there. Sometimes they have specialty grilled cheese sandwiches already made up. You just select that one, but it's just so good. Like I said, you can get one with like a chunk of steak on there, and pierogies, and some cheese and some macaroni. That's your sandwich. That's fantastic. That's some good stuff right there.
Heart attack on bread.
Oh my God, yeah, it's beautiful. My number 4 is Palermo's in Minersville. Friday nights they have the lobster bisque night, and that's I have the bomb, and their cheesesteak pizza is really good. Probably my favorite cheesesteak pizza in the area. And then number 3, I have the Pottsville Zone, like you were saying earlier. Paulie the Zarchik, fantastic wings. In my opinion, the best wings in the area. And the other food there, absolutely insane potato filling. Absolutely fantastic potato filling. His subs are very good. Burgers really good. I've never had a bad meal there. So that takes me to number 2. That's Benny's Restaurant out here by me outside Cressona. Just your typical pizzeria type place. Fantastic pizza. I like getting their pizza with the extra cheese and mushrooms. It's just so good. Their deep dish Chicago cheesesteak pizza is out of this world also. I'd never had a bad hoagie there. I like them also. A good group of guys own the place. They are also a team sponsor for the softball team that I coach, and Not Your Average Janes. So yeah, they give back to the community and everything like that. And then, of course, my number 1, just like you, Rob, Roma in Pottsville. It's so hard to beat. I don't know if you've seen them lately. Obviously, you're in Vegas. You haven't seen them recently. But they redid the front of the store and everything. It's absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous. The best thing to happen in downtown Pottsville, which isn't a great thing to say, but it's the only thing really to happen in downtown besides the Wheel.
Right.
It's really if you're out of the area and you happen to find yourself near Schuylkill County or near Pottsville, type in the old Google Maps and put in Roma Pizza in Pottsville, and you won't be sorry. It's fantastic food there. Fantastic food.
No, I actually follow them on Facebook, and I'll see them post things on Facebook, and I go, oh man, that is one of the things that I do miss that I do miss about back there, their pizza, their subs, just anything all around was good. And then you mentioned the lobster bisque at Palermo's.
Friday, only on Fridays.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. But then Roma also makes a pretty good bisque as well. So I don't know if I've ever had the seafood bisque at Palermo's, but I said to Celeste, I said, we go back east. I said, be prepared to eat.
But there's times at Palermo's you'll get a bowl of the lobster bisque, and you won't get a whole lot of meat in it. But there's times you get it, and there's some absolute monster chunks in there. It's awesome. It's like, dig deep when you're scooping that shit out of there. Dig deep, man. Get
Yeah.
that ladle to the bottom. Get all that shit that floated
Yep.
down to the bottom. Get it up there. Let's go.
Yep.
I have one honorable mention. It's another local shop in Auburn. It's called JT's Q and Grill. They make this. They have a really interesting, diverse menu there. My favorite is they make this thing. It's called Godzilla, and there's like 3 different types of meats on there, plus a whole shitload of cheese. I think they put like a gravy sauce on there. Also, it's out of this world. I think they have like pulled pork and cheesesteak and something else. It's just it's absolutely fantastic.
Oh wow, yeah, that does sound good.
Now that is a heart attack on a roll there. That freaking thing, that Godzilla. They also do a King Kong, which is a burger with a couple different kinds of meats on it and a whole pile of cheeses and a different sauce. I haven't tried that yet, but yeah, that's something else.
Well, hey, we definitely did some good reviews there. We're probably making the people that have that are watching the show, pretty hungry, and it's kind of late back there now.
We're encroaching midnight here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move along to the out of the box sports shows. We'll get through that. Let me pull them up here. I don't want to screw it up here. There we are. Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. We have the Fight Club 215 talking your combat sports, MMA and Fight Club 215, or MMA and boxing on the Fight Club 215. They have a special guest coming up, I believe November 19th. Natalie Morgan. She's a Muay Thai fighter, champion. And so she's going to be on the show talking about what's coming up for her and stuff like that. Huge show for our guys. Huge interview. I believe, I don't know if she's from Philly or fought out of Philly for a little bit or something like that. But I know there's some sort of association with Philadelphia, I believe. So check that out November 19th. I'm sure the guys will let you know this Tuesday what time and stuff like that. But the regular shows are Tuesday at 10 and Wednesdays at every other Wednesday at 10 a.m. It's the Bat Cave. I'm going to every other Wednesday now. Now that the World Series is over, so I'll be off this Wednesday. I'll be back the following Wednesday for your Major League Baseball talk, and of course my beloved Metropolitans. And Wednesday at 8 p.m. you have College Football Frenzy talking your top 25 college football, and also outside the top 25, talking BCS stuff and some upsets, and they talk betting. A lot of college football betting there. So check that out with the guys. Wednesdays at 9:30, Dem 215 boys for your Dallas Cowboys talk. The guys there, they keep it real. They don't beat around the bush. They don't sugarcoat anything. If Dallas sucks, they'll let you know that they suck. Right now, they're not sucking. Thursdays at 8 p.m., you have Big Mike's 4for4 Locker Room podcast. Talking all your Philadelphia sports, Eagles, the Phillies, Flyers, 76ers, all those teams, awesome. Phillies, to the World Series. Eagles still undefeated. Flyers off to a decent start. And you have the 76ers, who everybody thought would be good, are kind of struggling a little bit, but it's early on in their season also. So check that out. Big Mike, just don't mention the Mets to the guy, all right? He gets a little amped up when you start talking about the Mets. I have to run and tuck tail and hide once he starts ripping into the Mets. So he lays into it pretty good then. Fridays at 8 p.m., check out the Big Blue Power Hour for your New York Giants football talk. The Giants off to a pretty good start also. Saturday mornings at 7:30 a.m., Out of the Ring podcast, talking professional wrestling. Of course, WWE, the big machine there. AEW, NXT, ROH, all those good shows, maybe even some NWA. So make sure you check those guys out at 7:30 in the morning. And then, of course, us, it says Saturday at 8. It's supposed to be 10 p.m. So Saturdays at 10 p.m. Check us out, the Las Vegas sports scene, where we cover the Vegas Raiders, of course, the Golden Knights. Like we said, 9-game winning streak right now. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. And plus all the other Vegas sports goings on. Like today, we covered the Oakland Athletics possibly moving, the XFL. Like Rob mentioned earlier, the Las Vegas Lady Aces and stuff like that. They're defending WNBA champions. So check all those shows out of the box sports. Remember, hit the like, follow, subscribe buttons on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Now our sponsors. Jay Fine Law, aka Big Al, for all your personal injury needs. Call 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. His offices are located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once again, that's Jay Fine Law, aka Big Al. For all your personal injury needs, call 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Office is located in 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120 in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And also we have Castle Boxing, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, one of our newer sponsors. Check out their gym in Johnstown, PA. Like I said, they have professional boxing there. They have amateur boxing. They have a bunch of Golden Glove guys. They have some pretty big professional boxers that fight out of there, like a 10th ranked boxer in the world, Trigger Trayshawn Wiggins, fights out of there. He was on the Fight Club 215 a few weeks back, as well as the owner of Castle Boxing was on a different show a few weeks back on Fight Club 215. So make sure you check those guys out. Anything, if you're in the area, check out, see if they have any events going on, and give them a shout out. Let them know that we sent you. And right there, November 19th. It's hard to see there. Natalie Morgan, all those belts. She's a hell of a Muay Thai fighter. I wouldn't want to cross her to Natalie. I'll tell you what.
No, I don't think so.
November 19th at 9 p.m. Guys, mark it on your little calendars, your little notebooks, notepads, your Blackberries, your pagers, scribble it on your whiteboards, chalkboards, surfboards, skateboards, all that stuff. And there we go. Yeah, so I mean that's all I have, Rob. Unless there's anything else you want to get off your chest here, anything you want to spout out before we head off into the sunset here, man.
No, I'm good. I'm good, brother. We're out of here, and we'll see everybody next week.
Peace out, Raider Nation. Hopefully, we're talking about a win next week.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby.